सुनने वाला आएगा ना? They will come. Just wait. Okay, so let's start here. So after few days, what happened? You see, Maharaja's son's third birthday was celebrated. Yes, was celebrated. And before that, as commanded by the king, what happened? Grand procession was taken out in the street, and a tomb was also erected over it. Okay, the dead tiger was taken in procession through the town and buried, and a tomb was also erected over the dead body of the tiger. But the Maharaja did not know that he did not kill the 100th tiger. So, boys, Maharaja did not know yet because he was not informed about this matter, right? Now, a few days later, what happened? His son's third birthday was celebrated. Okay, and then Maharaja decided to give something. You see, sit straight. Okay, so Maharaja had given his entire mind over the tiger hunting. He had no time to spare for the crown prince. But now the king turned his attention to the child. He thought that his son's third birthday should be celebrated in a grand manner. So what he thought of? He thought of presenting something to his son, okay, on his third birthday. Let's see what happens. But now the king turned his attention, okay. He went to the shopping center. The king went to the shopping center to buy something for his son. See, searched every shop, but could not find anything suitable for his son. So, the Maharaja could not find anything suitable for his son in spite of searching something special in almost all the shops. Now let's see what does he finally discover for his son. Finally, he spotted a wooden tiger in a toy shop and decided it was the perfect gift. Wooden tiger he could discover from a shop and thought, as his entire time was devoted to the hunting of tiger, and tiger occupied most of his days, mind, everything. So why not give a toy tiger as a birthday present for his son? So he could see a toy tiger being there in the shopping mall, and then he wanted to buy it. Okay, he wanted to buy this for his son. He decided that it was the perfect gift for his son. The wooden tiger cost only 2 annas and a quarter. This is no longer a legal tender because 2 annas and all doesn't have value now. Even the coins are also have also disappeared, right? Like in our childhood, we saw 1 paisa also, 5 paisa. Okay. Nowadays, they are not there, right? So here you see, but the shopkeeper knew that if he quoted such a low price to the Maharaja, he would be punished under the rules of the emergency. This is again humor part. So, Sahil, come here. Sahil, come. जल्दी आ जा इधर. इधर बैठ. उधर गर्मी तो बाहर चले जा. और ज्यादा गर्मी. Sit down there. मजाक मत करो, ओके? नहीं तो पेरेंट्स को अभी फोन करके बता दूंगा. दोनों का नंबर मेरे पास है. तुझे समझ में आया कि गधे बच्चे उसका ह्यूमर कब मिले तुझे हंस रहे थे. जस्ट एक्सप्लेन. तेरे लिए मुझे माइक भी ऑफ करना पड़ा था. गधे बच्चे Can you explain me? Can anyone explain me, whoever laughed, what is the humor here when he said shopkeeper knew that if he quoted such a low price to the Maharaja, he would be punished under the rules of the emergency. I said it's a humor, and you kept laughing like the fools. Okay, can you explain me in what way it is a humor? You people do not know how to write even uh, a story, small story. He would be punished under the rules of the emergency. What is the humor involved here? Tell now. So don't make fun in the class, okay? Because you don't think it's so easy to understand, okay, for a layman like you people. So the shopkeeper thought if he quoted only 2 annas and a quarter under this emergency, because he has to buy this, he showed his interest to the shopkeeper, the Maharaja. So if he quoted such a low price, in that case, what will happen? He cannot make profit out of this, and because what happens, the shopkeeper, when there is emergency or when there is crisis, the demand supply ratio is not appropriate. Okay, when the supply is shorter than the demand, in that case, what happens? Shopkeepers hike the price. So there is called inflation in economics, right? So inflation starts happening when the supply is less and demand is more. So the shopkeeper thought that if I quote only 2 anna and a half, in that case, I will not make any profit out of the king. So it is for him it's emergency. For the king, it's emergency because he has not found this toy tiger anywhere else except this shop. So the shopkeeper took advantage of the emergency. That is why the writer said he would be punished under the rules of the emergency. Okay, because other shopkeepers will punish him. Okay, so that is why it is a humor part, because during the emergency all the shopkeepers hike their prices, okay, of the commodity, and more so when there is more demand and less supply. So in no other shop he could find this toy tiger. Only in this shop he found. It means that the shopkeeper has every right to hike the price. That is why the writer said he would be punished under the rules of the emergency. So he said, Your Majesty, this is an extremely rare example of craftsmanship. But he has to justify to the king, like why he has hiked the fare. So that is why he said, this is an example of rare example of craftsmanship. Craftsmanship matlab it is an handwork. Okay, craftsmanship, like you might have seen, like the statue or the wooden artwork that the people sell in the market. So they are also the example of craftsmanship, and it is a rare example of craftsmanship. Means you will hardly find the like of this elsewhere. A bargain at 300 rupees. Okay, and then 300 rupees was charged from the king. Very good. Let this be your offering to the crown prince on his birthday, said the king, and took it away with him. On that day, father and son played with that tiny little wooden tiger. Okay, tiny little father and son both started playing with this, and then what happened? It had this craftsmanship was very delicate, in the sense that it was not a finished product. Okay, not a finished product. So like needle like substance was also there. Okay, see, it is called sliver, sliver, sliver. Okay, see, it had been carved by an unskilled carpenter. An unskilled carpenter has carved this craftsmanship. Okay, so that is why he did not polish it properly. Okay, he did not furnish it properly. Okay, um, as a result, what happened? Its surface was rough. Tiny slivers of wood stood so slivers of wood बोलते हैं, जैसे hard surface होता है ना, जैसे इधर तो ज़्यादा नहीं है, लेकिन मुझे देखो इस surface में क्वार्टर में जब टेबल दिया हुआ है आपको देखो उसमें नीचे का एक्सरसाइज जैसा हार्ड रफ सरफेस है उसको अगर आप हाथ में एक क्रिटिकल हैंड इट इज कॉल्ड स्लीवर ओके इट इज कॉल्ड स्लीवर क्या बोलते हैं उसको बताओ स्लीवर बोलते हैं so tiny slivers of wood stood like quills all over it. One of those slivers pierced the Maharaja's right hand. It got pierced into his right hand. He pulled it out with his left hand and continued to play with the prince. Right. The next day, what happened? Infection spread up. Wooden tiger. Okay, so that's it. ये तो राइटर का सोच है उनका क्रिएटिविटी है ना you think about his creativity writer's creativity okay so लेकिन ये भी सच है अगर आपको डेस्टिनी ने आपका मौत लिख के दिया है ना तो कुछ देखो इंसान क्या होते पता है इंसान ये जो रूम है ना ये रूम में भी कहीं ना कहीं गिर के ना मर सकता है इतना सेफ एंड सिक्योर है ना अपने घर में भी ऐसा भी एक क्लास 12 में आपको मैं पढ़ाऊंगा एक लेसन है ऑन द फेस ऑफ इट तो उसमें एग्जांपल दिया हुआ है कि एक आदमी क्या होता है ना वो डरता था एक्चुअली बाहर जाने में कुछ हो जाए एक्सीडेंट वगैरह वायलेंस वो घर में रहता था पूरा खिड़की सब बंद करके एक दिन क्या हुआ था ऊपर से कुछ एक पोर्ट्रेट है ना पोर्ट्रेट तो वो गिर के ना वो मर गया घर का अंदर ही सो इट इज सेड दैट इफ डेस्टिनी हैज written off your death then you can die anywhere even in the most safe or the safest place हम घर कल से इधर मत बैठना ओके सानिया के पास मत बैठना इधर उधर सानिया
सर व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय सानिया के पास
ये क्या क्या बोल रहा है ना ओके सो सी हियर ये इन्फेक्शन है ना इन्फेक्शन फ्लेयर्ड अप हो गया था फ्लेयर्ड अप मतलब क्या बताओ स्प्रेड अप हो गया था तो हाँ फैल गया उसके बाद देखो इन 4 days इट डेवलप्ड इनटू ए सुपुरेटिंग सोर सुपुरेटिंग मींस पास निकलता है ओके एंड सोर हो गया मतलब अंदर भी उसको स्प्रेड हो गया which spread all over the arm ये इतना जगह से इधर पूरा स्प्रेड हो गया था 3 famous surgeons were brought in from Madras after holding a consultation they decided to operate the operation took place the 3 surgeons who performed it came out of the theater and announced the operation was successful the Maharaja is dead okay so ये तो तुम लोग ना देखो तो नहीं समझ के ऐसे हंसोगे तो उसको अच्छा लगेगा क्या ओके नेक्स्ट यू सी इन दिस मैनर द 100th tiger took its final revenge upon the tiger king in this way the 100th tiger it was a toy tiger but it is the 100th tiger and Maharaja could have been saved somehow but actually if it was written then he would have been killed by the live tiger also right Maharaja was hidden by Diwan because in case he was informed that your bullet did not kill the ailing old tiger in that case he would have again punished them right out of anger out of frustration therefore they decided to hide it okay but even if they have revealed it Maharaja would have somehow managed to find another tiger and that tiger would have killed him instead of Maharaja shooting him the tiger would have killed him so what I mean what is there you can see here there is a criticism actually okay by the writer okay क्या criticism है देखो number 1 है in those days the kings and the princes okay the people belonging to royal family they were responsible for wildlife extinction okay they used to kill the tiger elephant whatever okay deer okay in large scale therefore contributing to the wildlife extinction right so hunting of animals is a cruel activity this is what the writer wanted to highlight number 1 And number two, he was making fun actually of the astrologers, etc. Okay, even though in this story, the prophecy of the astrologer came true, his prediction came true, but actually, why he made it happen, because it is a story written not now, long before the independence. Understood? So, if he did not show in his story that astrologer was fail in his projection, then nobody would read his story. Okay, nobody is read his story because this is what people blindly believed in. Okay, now also if you go to village or if you go to the rural areas, you will find that people have still blind faith in astrology. Understood? So that is why, out of compulsion, he had to show here that astrologer's prediction came true. Understood? Otherwise, he would lose his readership. Understood? But what is the message? Message is given here. You see, read with insight. You will find. You see here, the story is a satire on the conceit of those in power. Conceit of those means in power. How does the author employ the literary device of dramatic irony in the story? Here, those in power, like the Maharaja, whatever he, like yesterday I told, now whatever he wanted, okay, he would have implemented it on his people. So he was very arbitrary. Those kings and princes, they were very arbitrary in nature. Okay, whatever they felt like they used to introduce to their kingdom. Therefore, what happened? Therefore, giving suffering and pain to the people. So that is why it is a satire on those who were in power. Next, you see what is the author's indirect comment on subjecting innocent animals to the willfulness of human beings. Willfulness means their wishes, their wanton wishes, or their uh, unjustified wishes. Here you see like hunting of animals. So here indirect comment. Then how would you describe the behavior of the Maharaja's minions towards him? Minions मतलब उनका जो subordinates थे. Do you find them truly sincere towards him, or are they driven by fear when they obey? When they obey him. So their attitude towards him was more of fear than respect and love. Right? Can you relate instances of game hunting among the rich and the powerful in the present times? Yes, we can. That illustrate the callousness of human beings towards wildlife. Callousness means indifference. मतलब human beings. This is they are not मतलब consistent. एक दिन लिखेगा 10 दिन नहीं लिखेगा तो ऐसा नहीं होता. आज भी कितना वर्ड मिलेगा? When did you ask me? But it didn't reach my ears what to do. So you might have been very soft in your voice. बेटा क्विल्स किसको बोलते पता है? जैसे एक तो क्विल्ट होता है जो मैट्रेस होता है ना, मैट्रेस हम लोग विंटर में यूज करते हैं, तो एक क्विल्स बोलते हैं उसको, और एक क्विल्स किसको बोलते पता है? जो डार्क ये सब रहता है ना, उनका जो फेदर्स का जो एक पार्ट रहता है, जो स्टिक जैसा निकालते हैं, उसको क्विल्स बोलते हैं. सो यू कैन आई विल शो यू जस्ट वेट. सो next you see here, okay, so tomorrow might be we'll discuss some of the critical questions from these lessons. Okay, sorry.
हाँ सर